Have you ever felt like money seems to slip through your fingers, as if an invisible hand were draining everything that enters your life? Have you noticed that even while working twice as hard, praying 3 times as much, and doing absolutely everything right, there is a silent force holding back your finances, delaying your achievements, and making every cent take longer than it should to reach you? Have you noticed that the person next to you, putting in half the effort, achieves double the results, while you stretch yourself thin, sacrifice, give up rest, give up leisure, and even give up on your dreams, yet you still seem to be 2 steps behind what you deserve? It is not a coincidence, it's not a lack of effort, it's not a lack of faith, it's not a genetic curse, it's not an evil eye floating in the wind. It is a sign. And what is happening right now in the spiritual realm explains exactly why you feel this way, and why this sense of financial blockage has intensified in recent months, specifically in your life, specifically this year, specifically at this moment when you open your eyes and realize you can no longer continue the same way. There is a game being played in layers that most people will never be able to see. A game involving money, purpose, spiritual heritage, ancient contracts of your lineage, and the exact role you were designated to fulfill within this cosmic transition that has already begun and that no one can stop. Think about it. What if everything you've always felt, this sensation that something is being withheld, this silent certainty that there is a spiritual fortune reserved for you somewhere, this intuition that the money you deserve is trapped in the hands of someone who has no right to it, was exactly the proof that you are not an observer of this story, but a central piece of a wealth transfer prophesied for millennia. Because the truth that few have the courage to say is this: there is money with your name on it in the spiritual realm. There is an amount, a value, an inheritance, a portion that was sealed for you even before you were born, even before your father met your mother, even before your lineage arrived on this soil where you stand today in this great nation. And at this very moment, as you read these words, that money is being moved. It is leaving the wrong hands. It is leaving the pockets of the unrighteous. It is abandoning the vaults of those who took it through lies, envy, financial sorcery, contractual injustice, family betrayal, labor exploitation, and even pure, shameless spiritual usurpation. God is saying at this hour something that needs to be heard with the soul, and not just the ears. The money that was trapped in the hands of the wicked will be yours before the sun sets, before today ends, before this light still coming through the window fades and gives way to the night, because the time has come for the chosen ones to receive what was always theirs, and the kingdom of darkness no longer has the legal authority to hold what the Father has already decreed as yours. The contract has expired. The deadline has passed. The injunction has been lifted, and what comes now is restitution. You need to understand that there is an abyssal difference between not having money and having money withheld. The person who has no money is in scarcity, but the person who has money withheld is in a battle. And you, chosen man, chosen woman, are not in scarcity. You have never been in scarcity. You are in an invisible war for the rightful possession of that which has already been released in the heavens, but has not yet been delivered on earth. That is why you feel tired in a way that sleep cannot cure. That is why you wake up in the middle of the night with the feeling that something is happening, with your heart racing for no apparent reason, with an anguish that no rational explanation can justify. That is why money comes in but evaporates before you can understand where it went, as if there were an invisible drain inside your home that no one can locate, a hole in your spiritual pocket that you never learned how to sew. There has been a spiritual door open in your life for far too long, and through that door resources are leaving that should never have left. Today, at this exact moment, I come as a messenger to warn you. That door is being sealed, and more than that. Everything that escaped through it, all the money that was stolen from your lineage, every resource that was diverted from your journey, everything that was sent to other lives but belonged to yours, everything that others harvested from what you planted, is being gathered by the angels of restitution right now at this very second. Do you feel the weight of this word? Because it is an exact, surgical, prophetic word. Restitution is not charity. Restitution is not a handout. Restitution is not a grace that falls from the sky by chance. Restitution is the mandatory, legal, non-negotiable return of that which was taken improperly. And the wicked have no way to argue against the verdict of the Most High. They can try. They will try. They will use all the tricks they have always used, but this time it will not work. You need to stop looking at your bank statement with the eyes of the flesh. Start looking with the eyes of the Spirit, because what is coming to you in the next few hours will not follow the logic of the world. It will not come through the path you imagine. It will not arrive from the source you expect. It will not obey the calendar you planned. And that is exactly why so many chosen ones miss the miracle at the exact hour it is happening, because they are looking at the wrong place, expecting it from the wrong person, counting on the wrong door, quitting their job before the promotion arrives, selling the land 3 days before the price spikes, giving up on the project the week the investor was going to call. The money of the wicked that returns to the righteous does not come with prior notice. It comes like a lightning bolt, like a plot twist, like a legal decision that changes overnight, like an unexpected call from a number you no longer had saved, like a name that reappears from a past you thought was closed, like a proposal that seemed lost and resurfaces stronger, like a debt that someone suddenly remembers they need to pay, like a document that was lost and is found, like a forgotten inheritance that appears in an old probate file, and you need to have your hand extended to receive it. You need to have your soul aligned. You need to have the right mouth speaking the right words, avoiding the poison of complaining and abandoning once and for all the tongue of scarcity that many of your relatives carried for entire generations without ever questioning. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, The Chosen One's Manual for Protecting the Family. This digital book is not just reading material. It is a spiritual financial map, a map that shows exactly who is playing against your financial life, what the hidden rules are that they never told you, about how money circulates on the invisible plane, and what the elders of the kingdom, the messengers from on high, and the oldest prophetic revelations have already said about this exact moment of wealth transfer in which we are living. This digital book was created for those who have already awakened enough to understand that money is not just paper, it is energy, it is flow. It is a spiritual current that can be diverted, withheld, contaminated, blessed, or released. And more, it was written for the chosen one who is already tired of praying for prosperity and seeing others receive what they themselves planted with tears. This digital book teaches the rules they never told you about how to shield your family against financial sorcery, against the ancient bloodline pacts that are still silently draining your home, against people who approach you pretending to be friends but carry envy like an arrow aimed straight at your wallet. It reveals the signs of when a blessing is arriving, the signs of when it is being intercepted, and the exact spiritual movements to ensure that nothing that is yours is ever diverted again. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you with all seriousness, this type of content rarely stays available for long. What is written in these pages frontally challenges narratives that many have a huge interest in keeping intact, because as long as you don't know who is playing against your finances, they keep winning. They keep profiting from your spiritual ignorance. They keep living off a wealth that has your name marked on the labels. There have been real attempts to silence this knowledge before, and that is why I don't know how long the link will remain active. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you did not arrive at this text by accident. When the messengers from on high want to liberate a life, they arrange all the words, all the clicks, all the paths, so that soul finds exactly what it needs to find at the exact time it needs to find it. Download it now and comment below. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This comment is an act of faith. It is a sign in the heavens that you are accepting your portion. It is a verbal decree that you are willing to leave the line of those who merely observe and join the ranks of those who receive. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against this financial oppression that has tried to follow you until today. Because there is a detail that almost no one tells you about the money that returns from the wicked to the righteous, and it is precisely this detail that separates the chosen who receive from the chosen who keep waiting forever. Pay attention to every word as if each one were a key. When the wicked take possession of something that belongs to the righteous, they become an involuntary depository of it. They are not the owner. They were never the owner. They are just the temporary vault, the forced guardian, the security guard hired by mistake. And every vault has an expiration date. Every vault has a key. Every guard duty has an end. And when the owner of the key appears with the right authority, the vault opens, even if the wicked person doesn't want it to, even if they swore that it would never leave their hands, even if they hired lawyers, made dark deals, or offered sacrifices at strange altars to try to withhold what was not theirs. None of that works when the time of restitution arrives. Do you know why? Because the decree from on high is non-negotiable. The decree from on high is not voted on. The decree from on high cannot be appealed in any human or spiritual court. And the decree over your life today is clear, it is crystalline, it is non-negotiable. The money returns, the resource returns, the opportunity returns, the contract returns, the house returns, the inheritance returns, the name returns, the reputation returns, the door returns, the key returns. Everything that was marked for you since before the foundation of the world is being sent back now, before the sunset of this prophetic day that you are living right now. And you need to start behaving like an heir, because one of the greatest spiritual tragedies that exists is the heir who lives like a beggar. It is the king's son who sleeps with the pigs thinking that is his place. It is the daughter of the promise who accepts crumbs because she forgot she has a seat at the father's table. It is the prince who borrows what is already his by birthright. Today you are being reminded of who you are. Today the spiritual memory of your true identity is being restored within you. You were not born to survive, you were born to reign. You were not generated to pay bills with anguish in your chest and a calculator in your hand. You were generated to manage abundance with wisdom. You did not come to this world to be exploited by unjust bosses, treacherous partners, or opportunistic relatives who always appeared when they needed you and vanished when you needed them. You came to lead, to build, to multiply, to transmit an inheritance that will change at least 7 generations of your lineage forward, 7 generations that have not even been born yet, but already depend on the decisions you make today. And the wicked know this. That is why they attack you exactly in your money, because money is the most visible tool of your authority in the world. Without money, you don't build. Without resources, you don't expand. Without prosperity, you cannot take care of the people you love. You cannot finance the projects God placed in your heart. You cannot be a reference for those who come after you. You cannot rescue those who are still trapped in the same cycle of spiritual poverty that trapped your grandparents. That is why the kingdom of darkness does everything, absolutely everything, to keep the chosen one in scarcity. They do not fear the poor chosen one. They fear the prosperous chosen one, because the prosperous chosen one is free. And a free chosen one is a permanent threat to the system of spiritual oppression that keeps millions sleeping in comfortable beds of accepted mediocrity. But today, something is changing. Today there is a sentence being executed in the celestial courts, and you are the direct beneficiary of this sentence, with your full name, with your date of birth, with your exact spiritual address. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, while still listening to these words, and visualize with absolute clarity. There is a bronze gate that has been closed over your finances for years, perhaps decades, perhaps since before you were even aware of what money was. This gate has the names of people, situations, contracts, and even ancient spells etched onto its surface. It has the name of that relative who cursed you when you were a child. It has the name of that ex-relationship that left your life promising you would never win. It has the name of that boss who laughed when you spoke of your dreams. It has the name of pacts that you didn't even make, but that were made by ancestors you never met, who compromised your lineage in exchange for a bit of grain in a time of famine. Today, at this very second, angels with swords of light are cutting through each of those inscriptions. Every name is being erased, every seal is being broken. Every word of financial curse that was pronounced over you, over your last name, over your spiritual social security number, is being undone one by one with surgical precision, with celestial authority. And the gate is opening. Can you hear the sound? It is the sound of metal giving way. It is the sound of something that was stuck for so long it rusted, but now it surrenders to the power from on high. It is the sound of the bolt falling to the floor. It is the sound of the padlock being shattered. Through this gate, What was withheld begins to pass now. It's not just money. It is also the peace you lost because of money. It is the health you gave up because of money. It is the sleep you didn't get because of money. It is the smile that vanished from the house because of money. It is the marriage that shook because of money. It is the dreams you put in a drawer because of money. Everything is coming back together in one package, in one wave, in one complete restitution. Because divine restitution is never partial. The God of the chosen does not restore halfway. He restores double, triple, sevenfold according to the size of the theft. And the theft in your life was large. You know it was. No one needs to explain it to you. You feel in your body the size of what they took from you. But the news I bring today, chosen man, chosen woman, is that the size of the return will scare you. It will make you cry. It will make you fall to your knees. It will make you tremble without knowing if it is from fear or joy. Because you are not used to receiving in the measure that God really wanted to give you. You got used to little. You settled for enough. You accepted living in tight spots and called it humility. But humility is not living below what God determined. True humility is receiving the King's portion and using it with wisdom without forgetting who the giver is. Now you will need to get used to overflow. And overflow requires preparation. That is why the digital book, the Chosen One's Manual for Protecting the Family, is so urgent at this exact moment in your life, because receiving is a spiritual skill. Maintaining is another. And protecting the family against the attacks that always come after the blessing is a third, even more sophisticated, even more necessary. The unprepared chosen one receives and loses. The prepared chosen one receives and multiplies. The instructed chosen one receives, multiplies, and shields. This digital book teaches you exactly who is playing against your financial life, even within your own circle, even inside your own home, even among people you love. It shows you the spiritual signs that someone close is operating as a drain on your blessing, without even realizing it. It teaches you the exact prayers, the right decrees, the precise spiritual movements to seal the gate through which money escaped, and open the gate through which it must now enter with full force. It gives you command words that change financial atmospheres in hours. It gives you protection routines that shield your home against any veiled attack. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Do not let the day pass. This content has already been taken down before on other platforms because it deeply disturbs those who profit from the spiritual ignorance of the majority. Comment now. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This comment is your stamp. It is your signature on the celestial contract of restitution. And when you comment, something moves in the heavens in your favor. A name is crossed off a wrong list and added to a right list. Now that you have positioned yourself, I will give you the deepest part of this revelation, because there is a name that needs to be said today over your financial life, and that name is the name of what will leave the wicked to enter you. But before that name arrives, you will feel a strange restlessness, an internal agitation, almost as if something were uncomfortable inside you. Do not be afraid of this sensation. It is your spirit recognizing the size of the delivery that is about to arrive. When a large blessing is coming, the old system inside us panics because it doesn't know how to handle that level. It's like asking a 2-ton truck to cross a bicycle bridge. The bridge needs to be widened, and this expansion happens inside you before it happens outside you. That is why you have been crying for no apparent reason. That is why you have been sleeping poorly even when you are exhausted. That is why you have felt a weight in your chest that isn't sadness. It is pure expectation. It is a child being born inside your spirit. It is your spirit knowing that something is about to break, about to manifest, about to leave the invisible plane and enter the visible plane. And the name of this thing that breaks through is justice, financial justice, spiritual justice, generational justice. Today an ancient justice, forgotten by men but kept by the heavens, is being executed over your specific case. With your file open, with your process underway, with your favorable sentence already stamped. And the wicked person who laughed at you will be the same one who will seek you out. The wicked person who humiliated you will need to pay you. The wicked person who took from you will return it with interest that they themselves could not calculate even in their worst nightmares. God has a way of turning tables that makes even heaven marvel and the angels stop to watch. Do you remember that situation that seemed lost? It has returned for divine dispatch. Do you remember that contract that evaporated? It ended up in the court on high. Do you remember that money that disappeared? It is leaving the pocket of the one who took it at this moment, with their hand shaking, with their heart tight, with the clear sensation that something greater than them is demanding the return. Do not ask how. Do not try to understand the path. Just position yourself to receive. And positioning yourself means 3 things you need to do today before the sun sets, without delay, without postponement, without internal talk that weakens your decision. First, open your mouth and declare out loud, in the place where you are now, I receive the restitution that the Lord has decreed over my life. Do not speak softly. Do not speak timidly. Do not murmur. Declare it like someone signing a document. Declare it like someone giving an order. Because your mouth was made for this, to seal in the physical plane what heaven has already decided in the spiritual plane. Second, actively forgive the wicked. I know this seems contradictory. I know it hurts. I know it seems unfair. But forgiveness does not absolve the debtor of the debt in the spiritual plane. It only releases you to receive. While you are tied to hatred, the channel is closed. Forgiveness is your key, not their gift. When you forgive, you are not saying that what they did was correct. You are saying that your liberation is worth more than your revenge. Third, position yourself in the attitude of one who waits. Stop living like someone who will never receive. Start dressing, behaving, and speaking like someone who has already seen the miracle arrive. Faith is not just a feeling. Faith is a posture. It is the way you walk even before the evidence arrives. It is the smile that appears on your face before the news. It is the calm that takes over your house before the explanation. And when the sun sets today, something will have changed. It might be a piece of news. It might be a phone call. It might be an idea that appears out of nowhere and is worth gold. It might be a door that opens in a direction you weren't even looking. It might be a bank notification. It might be an unexpected referral. It might be a name from the past. But something will move, because the decrees of heaven do not fail. The words of the chosen do not return empty. And you are chosen. It was not by chance that you were born into the family you were born into, even with all the problems. It was not by chance that you went through what you went through. Every scar of yours is a credential. Every tear was a seed. Every sleepless night was training for the position that is being handed over now. You are ready to receive precisely because you suffered enough not to waste what is coming. Those who never fought would never learn how to keep. Those who never cried would never know the value of a smile. Those who never had little would never manage much with wisdom. Today a cycle ends. Today a season closes. Today a new era begins in your financial, spiritual, family, and even physical life, because withheld money hurts the body, and released money restores the body. And when other people ask you how it happened, you will be able to say with firmness that there was a day when heaven spoke, when your soul heard, when your mouth declared, and when everything changed at once. That day is today, before the sun sets. Do not leave this moment without having done your part. Go to the comments. Get the Chosen One's manual for protecting the family, because receiving without protecting is insisting on a cycle of loss that returns with a different name. Comment your decree, I am chosen and I will download the digital book. And then come back here, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and receive. Receive what was always yours. Receive what was trapped. Receive what the wicked kept against their own will during all this time with no right at all. Receive the restitution double, triple, sevenfold. Receive the peace that returned with the money. Receive the joy that returned with the peace. Receive the health that returned with the joy, because the sun has not set yet. But when it sets, something will have left a wrong hand and entered finally the right hand. Yours. You are chosen. You are chosen. And the money that was trapped in the hands of the wicked is yours. Before the sun sets, in the name of the Most High, it is decreed, it is sealed, it is fulfilled, it is delivered. And let no one else dare tell your heart that you were born for little, because the little ended today, and the much begins now, this minute, this second, with this final word marking the exact instant when your financial story stopped being about scarcity and started being about overflow. And remember, when the phone rings with that news, when the notification appears, when the call arrives, when the forgotten name reappears, you will not say it was luck. You will know it was a decree. You will know it was restitution. You will know it was the justice from on high operating exactly as announced in this video. And in that instant, you will understand why this encounter between you and this word today was not chance, was not an algorithm, was not a mere slip of a finger on the screen. It was a convocation. It was a calling. It was heaven pulling you into the right position before the blessing arrived. Lift your head, chosen one. Straighten your shoulders, chosen one. Take a deep breath. The sunset is approaching, and with it the delivery, the